Hey Astros! How have you been enjoying your activities this week so far? Have you gone into your bag and wondered what this is yet? You might have thought it was a little jar of white paint, but if you've opened it, you've noticed that it's not paint at all. It's a powder. Well, actually, it's just some cornstarch, which is something that people use for cooking. You might even have some at your house right now. We're going to use this cornstarch for a science experiment, though. So before you go on, grab your cornstarch from your activity pack, a small bowl or tray, something you can mix it in, a spoon, and make sure you have some water available. You can use just the tap, that's fine. I'm going to bring water over to my table here. All right, go get your stuff and meet me back here. Once you've got a surface area ready and you've got all your materials, start with the cornstarch and dump it into your tray. I like to use the back of the spoon to help get the cornstarch started. We really packed it in there. Once it starts coming out though, it should come pretty easily. You'll notice at the bottom of your jar there's a little bit of a blue color. We used some gel food coloring to give your Oobleck some color, and this will come in handy when we get to the water part. I suggest that you give your child water from the container that we just emptied. This will ensure that they don't put too much water into their Oobleck, and it'll help get that blue color into their Oobleck. Pour a little bit at a time. You don't want this to get too wet. The wetter it gets, the messier it gets. But don't worry, if you end up getting your Oobleck too wet and gooey, you can always leave it out for a little bit and let some of the water evaporate from it, or just add more cornstarch from your kitchen. You'll know you have the right consistency when you touch your Oobleck and it feels hard, almost like it's dry. But if you leave your finger on the surface, it will slowly sink in, almost like liquid. Once it's that consistency, you can do fun things like this. Notice how the Oobleck stays firm like a ball until the second I stop moving it in my hands. It almost turns back to a liquid. That's because the cornstarch particles are suspended in the water, making it a non-Newtonian solid. You can research more about this with your child. To help promote more language, try some of these questions. As you can see, Oobleck can be a really fun activity to do with your child, but it can get a little bit messy. An outdoor area would be advisable, but don't worry if you can't get outside. Since this is just made out of cornstarch and water, once it dries, it's easy to wipe and vacuum out.